All right, hopefully you've already completed part A. So this is double check. Part B, check to make sure that's there. Again, if you get that wrong, the rest of the work is going to be rather confusing. So let's try this out. We've got a number plus 10 is equal to 4, which means we can think of this as some amount we don't know, r. We can add on 10, and that says that the whole thing is equal to 4. Before you get too confused, it's okay if our numbers turn out to be negative. So I've got 10 too much, so I'm going to take 10 off of both of them, which means I've got r is equal to, let's see, 4 minus 10 is going to be negative 6. You can check that with your calculator. All right, on this next one, I've got x minus 11. Now that minus tells me to undo it, I need to add. So because I need to add 11 because that's the amount that was being added on, but I have to do that to both sides, which means I've got x is equal to, let's see, these guys cancel like we meant, and 11 plus negative 8 is going to give me 3, and I'm all done. Okay, next up I've got negative 12, and this is a times, remember? So we're multiplying here, which means I need to divide. I need to divide that by negative 12 because that's what I'm multiplying by right now. So this side I also have to divide by negative 12. These guys cancel, so I just get n back, and then it's going to be 144 divided by negative 12. Now the big concern here is I should be able to simplify this. I see right away that 12 goes into 144. Let's see, 12 goes into 14 once. And then 12 goes into 24 twice. I've got a positive divided by a negative, meaning it's going to be negative. The amount's going to be 12, and there we go. Okay, here, oops, I've got a negative 9 times b, so I need to divide both sides by negative 9. Nine goes into 15 once. 1 times 9 gives me 9. I have 6 left over and 3. Then 9 goes into 63 7 times. Oop, and I get nothing left over. So I have 17. And what I need to do is, let's see, that's positive on the top, negative on the bottom, so the whole thing is going to be negative. Okay. Here I've got, ooh, that's a little bit messy. Let's see, I've got a x divided by 2 plus 4. I'm going to get the stuff farthest away from x taken care of first, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Let's see, that's a negative 5 plus a negative 4 gives me a negative 9. And what I need to do now, I've got x divided by 2. To undo dividing by 2, I need to multiply by 2. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. These guys cancel. I get x is equal to 9 times 2 is 18. A negative times a positive is a negative. And there's my answer. Okay, on the last one on this page, I've got the sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 33. So I've got my first number will be x. My second number will be the next number. So remember, if I have like 9 is my first, then 10, then 11. It's like I'm adding 1 each time. Okay, so the third number is going to be like my original, but then I'm going to add 2. Okay, now if I do the parts add up to be the whole thing, I can say that the whole thing is going to be 33, so that's what it told me. And I will say x plus 1 plus x plus 2. So that's the first one. And the second one. And the third one. Okay, now if I collect like terms, I've got 3 rounds of x's, so I have 3x. And then I've got a 1 plus a 2, gives me a 3. There's an awful lot of 3's in this problem, aren't there? So now I've got some number times x plus a number. I'm going to undo this first. So this tells me that I'm going to subtract. And then I'm going to subtract this amount. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. And I'm left with 3x is equal to, let's see, 33 minus 3 is 30. Now, I've got 3 times x. To undo multiplying, I divide by that amount. These guys will cancel. I also have to divide by 3 on this side, so x is equal to 30 divided by 3. That gives me 10. So the numbers would be 10, 11, and 12, but it's just asking for the smallest one. So I was finished already. Then I'm looking at this. I see that I've got vertical angles, and they are equal. So that means that this angle here is equal to that angle there. With that in mind, I can say that 2x plus 1, that's this angle here, has to be equal to 51. All right, now it just looks like the earlier problems. 2x plus 1, I need to subtract 1 because it's doing that adding. I get 2x left over on the left side. On the right side, I get 50. Then I can say 2 times x. To undo times, I need to divide. So to undo times, I divide by 2. That's what that 2 is about. Okay, these guys cancel, and I get x is equal to 50 divided by 2, which if you put into a calculator, you'll get 25. All right, here I see that I've got, on number 8, I've got a 90-degree angle there. So I can say the parts add up to the whole thing. The whole thing is going to be 90. So the parts are going to be, I have an x plus 21, that's the first bit. The second part is a 2x. All right, collecting like terms, I see that I've got 1x there and 2 x's there. That's a total of 3 x's. Then I just have a 21. And let's see, because I've got a number times x plus 21. That plus tells me I need to subtract to undo it. And it's going to be 21, which leaves me with a 3x on one side. It's going to be the same thing as, let's see, that's not 70. It's going to be, there we go. And then now it's got 3 times x, which means I need to divide by 3 to cancel it out. So x is going to be equal to, let's see, that's 21, isn't it? And here I see angles on a line. And they sum to 180. Okay, so if I do parts equal the whole, then I can say that the whole thing is 180 and the parts are going to be, let's see, that's 2x plus 10. And then I add on the other part, which is 3x. I'm going to collect like terms. So anything with an x, I underlined. So that's 2x's plus 3x's gives me 5x's. And then anything without an x, I add up. And the right side just stays the same. Now it looks like I've got a number times x plus 10. This tells me that I need to subtract, and I'm going to be subtracting 10 to make it cancel. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other so they stay balanced. And I just keep that 5x. And this is going to be a 170. Now, 5 times x, that means we're going to divide by x so that they'll cancel. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. And I get x is equal to, let's see, oh, that's, I can almost do that in my head, but not quite. 5 doesn't go into 1. It goes into 17, though. It goes in 3 times. And I get 2 left over. 5 goes into 24 times, exactly. So I get a 34, and just to double check, this is a positive divided by a positive gives me a positive. Okay, last problem. This is angles on a point, isn't it? And angles on a point, because you're going in a full circle gives me a sum to 360. Okay, that means that I can do parts equal the whole. The whole thing I said was 360 because I have to go all the way around. I'm going to erase this real quick. And then, let's see, let's just start here. I've got x minus 83, then plus, because I'm adding the parts, right? Plus x minus 49, that's the second part. Then plus, what's the last bit? 246. Okay, so I need to do 246 minus 83. Oops. So I need to do 246 minus 83. And then I also need to take off the 49. Now you could do this in several orders, so don't worry if you're doing it just a little bit different. We should end up with the same answer. Okay. Now, assuming my calculation is correct, you can check that in your calculator, of course. I've got 2 x's, don't I? I didn't collect that very well. 2x plus 114. So I'm going to need to subtract 114, because that tells me there. 2x is going to be equal to, let's see, need to borrow. And last but not least, I've got 2 times x. The undo of times is divide. So I need to divide both sides by 2. And I get, let's see, 2, 4, 6. 2 goes into that once. 2 goes into that twice. 2 goes into that 3 times. And that should do it. Now hopefully this gives you all the practice that you needed. Double check my calculations in a calculator. Make any adjustments that you need. You should be ready to go on to the quiz.